How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Minecraft build tutorial. Good lord, it has been a very long time since I've said those words. But anyway, clearly you've clicked on this video because you want to see this basically, which is a wizard tower. I've spent so much time building this, so I really hope you guys enjoy it. Now, as you can see by the video bar, this is a very long video. It's almost an hour in length. I was thinking of splitting it up into two parts, but there just wasn't really any good point for me to do that made sense. So I thought I might as well just put it into one massive video. It has been a while since I've uploaded, so I feel like you guys deserve that anyway. And as you can see, there's a lot of detail that has gone into this build, which is why it takes so long to make a video on it. Now, I did try to get this video as short as I could and try to get through it, but I didn't just want to skim over anything because there's always people in the comments, complaining about me, forgetting something or skipping something and then them being lost. And I really didn't want that, so I made sure that, I got everything into this video that I could. So obviously I'm also going to show you the interior as well, which is just in here. I can run through it really quick. If you like the look of this interior, that's going to be the last part of the video, so you can stay tuned to watch that. But obviously, if you want to do your own interior, then just watch the first part of the video and I'll show you how to do the whole outside. And I do just want to say, if you guys do manage to sit through this entire video, please do hit that subscribe button. It does help me out so much. And if you do build this in your own world, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I really love seeing messages like that. So anyway, guys, now that you've had a good look at this, we're going to get into the materials that you will need for this build. Alright guys, so here are the blocks you will need for the majority of this build. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of blocks missing, but I've only gone through and done the main things that you need a lot of, because otherwise this list will just take me absolutely forever to do. But yeah, anyway, as you can see, where there are multiple blocks listed, for example, the cobblestone, andesite, and stone bricks, where it says 128, that means 128 all up. So, you split that evenly between the three blocks. And then where you need the concrete and the calcite, all those white blocks, you need a lot of that, it's 384. So obviously that's 384 blocks all up with all four things. So whatever you find easiest to get, or you like the look of, or whatever, then you can get the majority of that block, if that makes sense. And it's also not a specific number for each of those blocks. But anyway, guys, feel free to pause the video, but for now, let's start building. So once you guys have collected the materials and you know where you're going to want to build, we're going to start by just placing the foundation. I'm just going to start by using cobblestone, but obviously we're going to come back through and texture it. So we're going to start with a block here. Now this is going to be the front left of the build, if you can imagine that. So then we're going to go 7 blocks here total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to come out 2, making that 3 blocks total. Then 4 along here. That's a 5 block. Then we're going to go 9 blocks on this side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we're going to come along 4 blocks just like that. Then out another 4. Then across 4 again. So this side's another 5. Then we're going to bring it back to the same spot there. So another 4. And then we're going to simply come 2 out this way and then connect it back. So that's 7 on this side. So now what we're going to do is bring all these blocks to a total of 4 high. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to bring all the blocks up to this height around the entire thing. So now what we can quickly do is just come to the inside and we're going to break out these corners just so we have a little bit more room. We can break those 2 out there and then also that one just there. So now we're going to start doing some texturing. So we're going to use some deep slate, tuff, and andesite, and we're also going to try to create some sort of a gradient going from dark to light. So if we think that the deep slate is going to be mostly at the bottom and then the andesite is going to be mostly at the top. So we're just going to start with deep slate, just go around the bottom and a little bit higher as well, just scattered around just randomly. There we go. Now we're going to get some tuff. Once again, this is going to be sort of towards the bottom, but it's going to go a little bit higher up than the deep slate. There we go. And finally, we're going to use some andesite. Now you guys can also use stone if you want. You can use any number of blocks you want, really, but sometimes it can look a bit busy if you use too many blocks. And there we go, that's looking good. So now what we're going to do is start building the pillars on the section just above this. So for that we're just going to need some spruce stairs and some oak logs. Now we're going to start on this left side here. So this face is 7 blocks long. We're going to place a stair upside down on either side and then one in the middle. So there should be 2 blocks in between each of these stairs. Then we are going to place 4 logs facing up on all 3 of these stairs that we've just placed. And then we're also going to create a temporary block there and break it. And we're going to put a beam going along just like that on the top. So we've got a McDonald's sign here. Then we're going to do the exact same thing over on this side. So starting on this corner, we're going to leave 2, then place 1 in the middle, and then leave 2. Obviously, this section is not going to have a pillar on it. So then build up with your logs, just doing the exact same thing, and break that block, and there we go. Then coming to this back side, we're going to do a similar sort of thing, except we're not going to place 1 in the middle. So we're going to leave a 3 block gap here, and then 4 logs just like that. Same here, and then we'll place 3 blocks going along the top, and once again removing the corners. So finally for these logs, we're going to come to these corners just here on the back, and we're going to place a stair facing outwards in that direction, and then 4 logs on top of that, and then same thing on this side but facing the other direction. And there we go. So now we're going to get some more logs, and we're also going to get a couple pieces of oak wood, which is the bark block. So, and just here on the front, we're going to break out all these blocks along here, and we're going to place a wooden beam going across, and then on this last one we're just going to place a bark block so that that side isn't showing. Then we're going to come to the back, and we're pretty much going to do the same thing. So just here we're going to break out these 4 blocks and then place a beam going along. Last one, oak wood. Over here there's just 2 blocks, we're going to break them. 1 oak log, 1 oak wood. And then we're also going to do it just here. So those 4 blocks just like that, and we're going to place 2 beams either side, and there we go, pretty simple. So now we're going to do the walls for the upstairs section. Once again, we're going to add some texturing to this, but I'm just going to start by placing in white concrete, but then later we'll come in with some polished diorite, regular diorite, and calcite. So with your white concrete, we're going to start by placing some blocks along these oak logs just here, and we're going to continue that all the way to this pillar just here. Then we're going to place them along the stone just here, all the way to this beam, and then continue it around that way. So obviously from this side, it's going to be indented by 1. Then just continue these blocks around. We can leave these 2 blocks here free, so that we have more space on the inside. Then we're just going to place the blocks all the way around like this, and finally join it up there. So we're going to make this wall 4 high on all the sections, so just building it up just like this. And there we go, so now we're going to start texturing. And we're going to do some sort of gradient as well. It's going to be less obvious in the white, but we can still sort of do it. So we're going to have diorite predominantly at the bottom, so we can start placing that in, similar to what we did with the deep slate. There we go, next we're going to use some polished diorite. Now polished diorite does tend to stand out quite a lot, so try to use a little less of it than you would the diorite. So there we go. Finally we're going to use some calcite, which is a pretty bright block. As you can see, it's actually a little bit lighter than the white concrete, surprisingly, so we're going to place this predominantly at the top. And there we go. So before we move on to the towers going up, we're actually going to start placing in the roofs. So we're going to start with this little section down here, which is the lowest part, and we're just going to be getting some dark oak stairs, and we're going to place 3 blocks going outwards like that, and then do the exact same thing on this side, and we're going to do our typical diagonal stair pattern, just heading up to a center point. And when you get to the middle, we're going to do an upside down stair facing this way, a regular stair on top, and then another upside down just like that. Then on the top here, we're going to place 2 stairs just going in, and we're going to stop when we get to that wall, obviously. So now we're going to do this main section, so we're going to start by placing an upside down stair on the side of that log there, and then a regular one next to it. And then we're just going to create our peak as we always do. Once again, once we get to the middle, we're going to do the exact same thing, and then bringing it down the other side to connect it up. Looking good. So So then coming back to the front, we're essentially going to create this pattern with our stairs just going regular and then upside down all the way along until you get to the other side. Just here, and obviously we're going to do the exact same thing. So now coming to this section right at the back, we're going to add another little peak. This is going to be slightly shorter than the other ones, obviously. So we're just going to do this very repetitive pattern. And there we go. So now we're just going to connect these up. So we're going to place a stair just like that with that upside down thing. This log is obviously going to stick through a little bit, which is fine. So then do the same thing over here. And there we go. Now before we fill in these roof sections, we're actually going to mark out where the extra buildings are going to go, where the towers and stuff. So we're going to come to this corner block right here. We're going to place a bit of cobblestone right there. Then we're just going to create a little 3x3 shape with one hole in the middle. And we're actually going to bring this up to a total of 9 blocks all the way around. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then just create this ring at the top. And then we're going to literally just bring that up all the way. And there we go. Obviously we're going to come back in and texture that a little bit later. So then we're going to get some logs. And I'm also just going to use some dirt for temporary blocks. I'm going to place a block just there with an oak log on top. And then what we're going to do is use some white concrete just temporarily. We're going to place 5 blocks just like that. And then this next one is going to have another log on it just there. Then we're going to bring it 3 this way. And we can place a log on that corner. And then obviously just connect this up to make a rectangle. So 3 blocks there, and there we go. So what we're going to do with these logs is bring them up to a total of 6 blocks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do that on all 4 sides. And then we can do the exact same thing with the white concrete. So now that we got that in place, we can come in and finish off the roofs before we start moving on to that section. So for these roofs, we're going to be using a very weird selection of blocks. So we've got our oxidized cut copper stairs, we've got prismarine brick stairs, and we've got warped stairs. Now, like everything else, this is just going to be scattered in pretty randomly. So we'll start off by just doing this section down here. And obviously, we're just going to place a good mix of blocks going through. And just filling it in like that. So now coming to this top section, we actually have to place the top bit on this. So getting our dark oak stairs again, we're going to continue this pattern up until that wall, just like that. Same thing over this side. Obviously, we only need to place 2 blocks here. And then also on this bit sticking out here. So coming to the front, we're going to start filling in these blocks. Looking good. Now coming to the back, we're going to do the exact same thing. Now this corner here, we're just going to be rotating the stairs around. So if we just place the blocks in there like that, obviously this log is still exposed, that's fine. And there we go, we're going to do the same thing over here as well. There we go, that's the whole roof done, looking really, really good. Now we're going to start detailing this upper section. Now for this cobble tower, we're going to do the exact same pattern that we did down below with the deep slate, tuff, and andesite. Once again, try to create some sort of gradient if you want. It does add quite a bit if you do it. And there we go. So now we're going to add a little roof onto this tower here. So getting yourselves some dark oak planks, stairs, trapdoors, and fences. We can get started with the stairs. So we're just going to place an upside down stair either side of these 3 blocks. Same on this side, and obviously these sides as well. Then we're going to place 4 dark oak planks just on each of the corners there. And we can also place them on those blocks as well, actually. Because then we're going to place a regular stair facing towards that block in the middle of each side. And then we're going to place 4 blocks on top in this diagonal pattern, just like that. Then on these blocks we're going to place a stair facing to the right if we're looking at it from this side. Then we're going to come to this side, obviously just rotate them around like that. So it's not actually symmetrical, but it looks a lot better than when you use slabs. So then on top of those blocks that we place, we're going to put stairs facing in towards each other. Then finally we're going to place a block in the middle and then 2 more blocks on top of that. And then we're going to finish it off by placing 3 dark oak fences just like that. Then coming back in with your trapdoors, we're going to place a trapdoor there. And we're going to do that on all 4 sides. And then coming to the top here, we're going to place 4 around this block as well. And we can also place a trapdoor on top of each of these upside down stairs we placed at the start. Now if you want, you can place some trapdoors underneath that stair as well on all the sides, but what I'm actually going to come in and do later is place some lanterns hanging by some chains in there, and we need that block free to be able to do that. So that's up to you. If you don't want the lanterns there, then we can place trapdoors and it looks a bit better. So next we're going to add in some windows, so I'm just going to be using some cobblestone stairs and some deep slate stairs. So coming to the front here, we're going to leave the bottom 2 blocks and break out the 3rd one, and we can place a stair in there like that. Then we're going to break out 4 more blocks, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and on that one we're going to put another upside down stair, and then we can put our 3 glass panes in the middle just like that. Coming around to the back, we're going to add a little bit of a smaller window, so we're going to break out that block and then the 2 below it, and we can also break that top block as well. Then we're going to do the same thing with the stairs, and then we're going to have 2 glass panes in the middle just like that. So there we go, that's the tower done until we come in a bit later and add more detail to the whole build. We'll just leave that like that. So now we can texture this white concrete section just here. So obviously using the exact same thing that we did down here, we're going to start with some diorite down the bottom and just start scattering it all over the place. And there we go. Now we're just going to add some windows in. So for this we're going to use diorite stairs and polished diorite stairs, and we're obviously just use our glass panes. So coming to the front here, we're actually going to break out 5 blocks just here like that, and we're going to do the exact same thing there as well. So we're going to have 2 windows here, then placing a regular facing stair on the bottom and an upside down one on the top. We should have 3 blocks in between where we can place our glass panes. So now coming to the back, we're going to do a similar thing on this left side here. We're going to break out the 5 blocks, same as on the front, but on this side we're actually only going to break 4. So this window is going to be a little bit shorter just because of this roof coming out. So then obviously we can place our stairs on the bottom and also the top. 2 glass panes in that one, 3 in that one, and there we go. Now what we're going to do is get our dark oak stairs, and we're just going to place the outline of the roof. So just place some blocks along here, and then we're also going to do the same pattern where we do upside down and then regular. We're going to do the same thing over this side. We're not actually going to place the roof in just yet, but we're just going to place these blocks to give us a little bit of an idea about where it's going to be. So before we do that roof, we're going to get our oak logs and we're going to mark out the next section. So this log that we have just here, we're going to bring this up a few more blocks. So we're actually going to place 6 more blocks on top of this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then what we're actually going to do is leave 3 blocks, a 3 block gap just there, and then place a log on the 4th one, and we're going to bring that up to the same height. And then we can also place 3 logs going along the top just like that. Then obviously do the same thing on this side. So now what we're going to build is the side tower that's going to offshoot from this building just here. So for that we're just going to be using some diorite stairs and polished diorite stairs obviously. And then obviously we're going to be using our white block palette. So we're going to start off by coming to this side here, and this first block here above this stair, we're going to place an upside down stair and then a block on top of it. We're actually going to place a second block on top as well, and then another stair on the side of that. Then same thing again, so go up 2 more blocks and place another stair outwards. Then we place 1 block on top of that. Then we can place 2 upside down stairs either side. And now we're going to come back down here and join this up. So just in line with this second block that we placed here, we're going to put an upside down stair on both sides. Then we're going to place 2 blocks up and another stair in there. So that's going to connect to that one. So same on this side. And there we go. Now we can just fill in this section with a variety of blocks. Remember to scatter them around. I've just been mixing them in randomly. So there we go, that's the support section. Now we just got to build the tower on top. So now coming to this stair, we're going to place 4 blocks on top like that. And then we're going to literally just build that 3x3 ring, and we're going to connect that all the way down. Except this one here actually, we can leave that open. And there we go, so we're just going to leave that like that for the moment. So now we're actually going to place the walls for this section up here, and these are actually going to be indented by 1. So we're essentially going to be placing a 3x3 section just like that, except we're going to leave this bit open so that we can get into the tower. So if you bring them up all the way to the top, just like this, filling all this in. And there we go, so now we're just going to come back in and retexture all that. And there we go, now we're just going to finish off this roof that we started earlier. So if we come to this side with our dark oak, obviously we can build what would essentially be our arch, or our peak I should say, but obviously it's going to connect to that tower, so we're not really going to finish it. That's all we need to do on that side. Coming to this side though, we're going to build whatever we can of this arch essentially. So obviously when you get to here, there's going to be this sort of block, so we can just break that stair and then place that one in there like that. And coming to the top here, we're just going to place a stair, so that's sort of joining onto this tower basically. And then that's all we can do because this tower is in the way. So next we're going to move on to our blue section of the roof using our same palette of copper, prismarine and warp stairs. So just placing these in here like that. Although one thing we can do is come to this section here and place our stairs where the top would be, which is just there. Make sure you get into this corner to place these stairs. There we go. Can be a little bit tricky. Now just here we're going to break out that block and place our stair in there instead. So obviously it looks a bit messy in here, but you can't really see it from most angles anyway, especially on the ground, so that looks fine. So what we're going to do at this top section here is we're actually going to continue this tower up. So if we place another 3 blocks just along here like this, so obviously we've got that 3x3 ring here, we're actually going to bring this up an extra 5 blocks. So just with white concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, creating the ring at the top, and obviously we're going to extend this down all the way. There we go, then we're going to come back in and retexture some of this. And there we go, so there are 2 towers that we're going to have to add roofs onto in a second. First we're going to add the roof for this square in here, if you can see that. So we're going to come to this corner at the front and we're going to place an upside down stair and then a regular facing one next to it. And we're going to create our peak as we've done on all the other sides as well. So once you get to the middle, we're going to do this. We can also place our stair in there, then our upside down stair, bring it back down the other side. There we go, then obviously the exact same thing is going to happen over here. I understand that this can be a little bit confusing. If I'm moving a bit quick, then feel free to pause the video and just take time. Obviously you can rewatch sections that you miss. So just connect that up like that using the same technique. And there we go, now we can come in here with our blue blocks and finish it off. Also remember to place your stair there at the top. Now we just have to add the roofs onto these 2 towers, which is actually going to be the exact same as this tower here. So I will show you again, but if you know how to do it, you can just go ahead and do it on each of the towers. Now we're going to start with the top one, as it is going to be a little bit easier to see. So we're going to start with our upside down stairs on either side, all the way around, just like this. Then we're going to place our ring of blocks on top and our stair facing into the middle one. There we go. Then 4 more blocks just like that, and stairs in the corners. Stairs on top of the full blocks, all pointing in towards each other. Then 1 block in the middle, 2 blocks on top of that, and 3 dark oak fences. Then with our trapdoors, we're going to place them on the bottom, on top of these upside down stairs, just like this. Then we're also going to place them flipped up on these sections. And also on this top bit. Now trapdoors are optional, I just think they add a little bit more detail and make it look pretty good, especially from a distance. So there we go. Also, we are going to be adding more lanterns like we were going to do down here. But if you don't want to do that, then we can add a trapdoor in there, but I'm not going to. So then just here, we can place a block there to finish it off, and we're going to start placing in our dark oak stairs. Obviously, we can't place them here, so instead I'm actually just going to use a full block, just like that. Then place our blocks on top, and this will be the exact same thing from here out. So we'll place our 4 blocks there, stairs on these sections, stairs in these corners, and on top as well. 3 blocks and 3 fences. Then we get our trapdoors all the way around. And there we go, looking absolutely awesome. Now we just need to add some windows onto these top sections, and then we can start adding some more detail. Starting with this section, we're going to break out the bottom block and then also the next 3 above it. And we can put in our stairs and add 2 glass panes in there just like that. Then come to the other side and do the exact same thing. There we go. Now coming to this side tower, we're going to break out this top block and then the next 3 below it, so that's 4 in total. Stair at the top, stair at the bottom, and 2 glass panes in the middle. We're going to do the same thing on this side and on this back side as well. Now coming to this top tower, we're going to break out these 3 blocks here. Stair at the top, stair at the bottom, and we're only going to have 1 glass pane in the middle. Then come around to this side, do the same thing. And on this side, we can actually add a little bit of a bigger window. So we're going to break out all 5 blocks there so that we have a 3 high window just like that. Now just getting some spruce stairs, we're going to come in here and place some upside down stairs just like that, just to round it off a little bit. Makes it look really nice. Now in here, we can actually just place a wooden beam going across, and then we'll place our stairs in here. So that's actually 1 block lower if you notice that beam, which is fine. Then over this side, 2 upside down fences. No, not fences, stairs. And there we go. So now that we've done pretty much that whole up section, we just got to come to the bottom and start adding in obviously our windows and doors and things at the bottom. So we're going to start off with our front doors. If we just come in here at the front, we're going to break out these 4 blocks just like this and place in 2 dark oak doors just there. You can also use spruce doors if you want, they look pretty good, but I'm going to use dark oak. Then we're going to add a little bit of a overhang, so we're going to place some dark oak slabs going along these logs just here, obviously stopping once you get to the stair. And then we're going to place some trapdoors in front of it just to make it look like it's sort of curving down. And then on this corner, we're going to place 3 dark oak fences just to give it a little bit of support. And there we go. Now coming to the front, just remember to fill in this section here, just with some more of those blocks obviously. So we're also going to add a little window in here. So if we break out, we're going to break out 4 blocks. We're going to put a stair at the bottom and at the top, and we'll have 2 glass panes in the middle just like that. Coming to this section over here, we're going to add a few more windows over here as well. But we're not actually going to use stairs for this. We're just going to break out 2 blocks underneath that log there and place 2 panes in there. And then these 2 blocks over here. So we're going to have 2 blocks either side of these windows, if that makes sense. So now what we're going to do on this front left side is just add a little bit of a staircase so we can get to what is actually the front door, because this is going to be sort of the basement down here and the main part is going to be up here. So we'll start by just placing a block just there on the corner. Then we're going to place 2 stairs either side of it, and we're going to do the same thing here, going up on a diagonal, and then place 2 stairs. Same thing here, 2 stairs. And then we're going to replace this spruce fence with an oak log just like that. And then we're going to place our 2 stairs next to that again. So we can fill in this up here and make sort of a platform up here. And we're then just going to literally extend this down to the ground. So placing in some blocks going around like this. We're going to bring this all the way to the top. Pretty simple. So then we're going to get some spruce trapdoors and place them flipped up on the side of each of these stairs just to give us a little bit of a railing. And then also on these 3 blocks up here, we're going to do the same thing. So just place some temporary blocks there, and then we can destroy them. So now we can get up pretty easily, and this is where the door's going to be. So we can break out these blocks just here. And we're actually going to break all the way to the top. So that's 4 blocks by 2. So then we're going to place 2 dark oak doors just like that. And if we come to the other side, place some temporary blocks, we're going to place some dark oak trapdoors above it and flip them just like that. So if we come to the outside, break those, we've got a really tall door. So now obviously to make that look a little bit better, we're going to use some spruce stairs, and we're going to place 1 either side just like that on the top, and we're going to do the same over here as well. Then we're going to add a little window in here, just break out 2 blocks, pretty simple. And for this bit up here where we have a bit of a gap, we're just going to place 2 white concrete blocks either side, and then we're going to place a glass pane in there like that. We are going to fix this gap here as well, but that's going to be a part of the interior. So now we're going to add our windows for this middle section, which is looking a bit blank. Obviously just get your diorite stairs. And what we're going to do is going to break out 3 blocks here, so that's leaving 1 block on the side. Then we're going to leave 1 and break out another 3. Then a stair on the bottom and a stair on the top. And we're going to have 1 glass pane in the middle. Looking good. Coming over to this side, we're going to get some spruce trapdoors, and we're just going to place 2 on the top half of the block next to these upside down stairs, just to connect them together like that. Then we're going to break out these 2 blocks in the middle here, and just here as well, and place in our glass panes. And then like we did on the other side with your spruce stairs, we're going to round it off a little bit, just like that, on both sides. And on the top, we're going to place these blocks in here with a glass pane in the middle. Now for this back corner, we can actually add a window in here as well. So we're going to break out 3 blocks, and the bottom we're going to place a stair, and then we're going to have 2 glass panes in there like that. Now for this back section, we're going to place 2 slabs either side next to these stairs, and then a trapdoor in the middle just to give that little bit of a curvature. And then we're going to place a window here, so we're going to break out 4 blocks and place a stair on the bottom and 1 on the top as well. That'll give us 2 glass panes in the middle. Then with our spruce stairs, placing them in the corners upside down will give us that curve like that we want. And then we're not going to add any windows over here. You can add one here if you really want to. I'm just going to leave it blank though, and that looks fine. Now if you want at the front here, you can actually replace these 3 blocks with stairs if you think that looks better. It's completely up to you. I might go with the stairs. So now that we've done that, we've essentially built the main foundation of everything, which means you can, just stop here if you want, if you think this looks good enough. But what I'm actually going to do is come in here to the outside and add quite a bit of detail. So we're going to add things like bushes, some more trapdoors and things, just to make it look a little better. We're going to add some lanterns, which I mentioned earlier. So we're going to get started with that. Now the first thing I'm going to do, which is a really, really good way of making it look like it has a bit more support on the bottom, is just with these selections of slabs, we're going to come around to the bottom and just sort of scatter them around just next to the building, placing them pretty randomly all the way around, just like this. If you want, you can place 2 next to each other just like that, just to give it a little bit more support. And this looks really, really good. It looks like it's sort of blending into the terrain. You can go around this staircase as well. And there you go, I'm even going to place 1 just there. Then I'm going to get some full blocks and even place them in the ground like this, so that looks pretty good. Just scatter it all the way around the building. Now my texture pack isn't updated for 1.17, but I do need to fix that so that these aren't so square, and it actually looks more like this cobblestone. And there we go. So if we just fly around, you can see this looks so much better already, and that was really, really simple. So now for these front 2 windows here, we're just going to place a temporary block on the front of it, and then we're going to add a trapdoor that's flipped up on the side, and that makes it look like there's a little bit of a shutter there, which you can close and open. So now I'm just going to get a shovel, and we're going to create some path blocks here, just coming from the staircase and also this doorway here. We're going to sort of curve it around just like that, looking good, and then we can imagine it's sort of going to come off down this way, whatever. So now we're going to go around and add a bunch of bushes everywhere. So I'm going to be using oak leaves and birch leaves. Now on my texture pack, birch leaves are like this yellow color. You can use whatever selection of leaves you want. If your texture pack's different, or if you like some leaves better than others, you can use whatever you want. So I'm going to start by just coming around the base, and we can probably place one in here, just sort of a little bush like that. We're just going to go around the bottom, placing in various bushes around. Looking good there. There as well. We're going to place one there. We'll have a nice big one out the back here. Even place it in the ground a little bit so it looks like the leaves are sort of scattered around. And also one out front of this windowsill will look good. Let's just leave it like that. So now we're going to come to some of the windows and add some bushes as well. And what we're going to do for that is use some spruce signs or dark oak signs. I'm going to use spruce though. So I'm actually not going to place them on these windows down here, but I will on this section up here. So if we just come here, we can place 2 leaves on either side. And then if we just surround it with signs, it looks like it's sort of a little plant box, which is good. Obviously these are too close, so I can't place a sign on both, but I'm just going to put a sign on that one because that's the one you're actually going to see from this angle. And there we go, that looks really good. We can come to this one as well and do it. I'm going to use some birch leaves for this one. And if you want to make it look like it's overflowing, you can even place some more hanging down, something like that. Looks really good. I'm going to add one out on this tower as well. I think that'll look awesome. And over here as well. Then this back section here as well, I'm going to place them down here. Looking good as well. And then right on this back bit, we're going to place one there and also here actually. Now for this one, I'm just going to make it look more like a bush, so I'm going to make this really, really bushy. It's going to hang down, sort of connect. There we go, that looks good. Actually, I might just, that's probably enough like that. Over here, we can place some in here, just like that. Might leave that one empty. There we go. We'll place some signs on this one. And there we go. If we fly around, that's looking heaps better. I'm actually going to come up here and place some more leaves. I'm going to do like a proper bush in there. There we go. And I'm even going to add one right at the top on this tower. Now just coming down to the ground, I'm going to get some bone meal and just, you know, scatter this around so we have a little bit of, you know, grass and stuff. Tall grass looks a lot better. Also flowers add a lot. There we go. This is looking really, really awesome. Last thing we need to do is just add some lanterns. Now for this, we're obviously going to use some chains, but we also can use 2 different types of lanterns. We can use regular lanterns or soul lanterns. Now for a wizard tower, if you're going for that sort of fantasy look, the soul lanterns will look really, really cool, especially at night. So I'm actually going to use those, but if you just want to use regular lanterns, that's fine too. So when it comes to the front, let's just add a lantern hanging from this trapdoor. Remember, because it's a trapdoor, you got to hold shift to place it. Then on this front section, we're going to place a chain with a lantern on that. I'm going to place one on this side here. On the top, we're going to add a chain with a lantern there as well. Now it is very easy to overdo it with the lanterns. I did it when I first built this, so try to place a few less than you can. I might actually remove that one. So just coming around here, we'll place one on this corner here, and then one on this side there. And we'll place one final one there above the staircase. So then moving up to this tower, we're going to place a few chains here. This is where I told you about leaving the trapdoor. If you don't want to add the lanterns, obviously you can place a trapdoor there. So I'm going to place 2 chains on that one, so it's going to hang down quite a bit more. Then over here, we'll just do 1 chain. Oh, I placed that wrong. There we go. And on this back one, we're going to make it hang down quite a bit. We'll place, yeah, we'll do 2 again, and then the lantern. I've just seen in here that we got a gap missing, so I'm just going to get some logs and place 3 along there. There we go. You guys were probably really annoyed at me for that. So then we can place another lantern on that corner and this corner. And actually we'll leave that one free. Then in this indented section, we can place a lantern there. On the front, let's place a chain and then a lantern. Over on this tower on the side, we can place a lantern on that window there. And on the top one, we're going to place just 1 lantern on this side. We're going to do a chain and then our lantern. And as you can see, that's looking really cool. If we have a look at this at night, we'll see how much that adds. And there you go, you can already see how awesome that is. I mean, you just get this little tiny blue lighting, which goes really well with the roofs that we've added. and this is looking really, really cool. Alright, so there we go, guys. That is the whole exterior completely done. So if you have your own idea for interior, you can, you know, go off and do that yourself, but the next section of this video is going to be the interior. So let's get started with that. Alright guys, so just before I actually start the interior, I'm actually going to take out one of these doors and just make it a single door rather than a double, and that's simply just because the way I'm doing my interior, this second floor is sort of the main section, so it makes more sense for that to be a single door, but obviously if you're doing your own interior, you can leave that as double or whatever. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly light up the inside so that we can actually see what we're doing while we're actually in here. So the first thing we're going to do is get some oak logs and just come to this side here where the main entrance is, and we're going to continue this row of logs all the way across the room just like that, and we're going to leave a 1 block gap there. Then we're going to come over one, leave a gap again, and just place logs all the way. And now this side we're going to leave the end block open, and we can actually replace that with an oak wood bark block, just because we're going to add our stairs going around here. Then obviously leave one again, and we're going to do the same thing, just a log going all the way, connect it up with that one, and then one more just like that. And if we come under here, we can actually place it all the way to that wall there. Then underneath these doors at the start, we're actually going to take them out and replace them. We're going to put logs on the floor there, and then obviously just put the doors back. There we go. Then to finish off the floor, we're going to get some spruce slabs and just place them on the top half of the block where basically we didn't place the logs. So pretty simple. Once again, just leaving these 3 blocks open here for the stairs. So now we're just going to fill in the floor on the bottom level. So obviously we're going to have to knock out all this grass, and we're going to replace it with spruce planks, and then we're also going to mix in a few logs just scattered around randomly throughout. So there we go, that's our floor. As you can see, I've just scattered a few oak logs around. You can add as many as you want, just to add a little bit of texture. So now we're just going to add our staircase over in this corner here, and we're just going to do that by placing a spruce plank block in the corner there, and then a stair leading up to it. Then come to the left and put an upside down stair. Then we're just going to place 2 stairs like that going up to that wall there. Come down here, place another upside down stair. Upside down stair there. Replace these 2 blocks with an upside down stair like that. And then come up here, finish it off with 1 more stair. And there you go, you can get up and down real easily. Then just get some trapdoors. We're going to place them on the side of all the stairs, just like that. Pretty simple. Come up here and you can place 2 more trapdoors just like that. Alright, so now we're going to add the ceiling for this main room up here. And we're going to do that by first placing a row of logs from this side all the way along to this wall there. Then we're going to come to this section over here and place 1 more row in the center of these 5 blocks like this. And we're just going to continue it all the way through to that wall there. Then we can just knock out these bits of cobblestone here, and what we're going to do is place some upside down spruce stairs just around the sides like that, so that you can't see the side of the wall. And then in here we're just going to place some slabs. Then just place 2 spruce planks above this door here, and we're going to basically do the exact same thing where we place our stairs around the outside. So when we get to this point, we're going to have to loop our stairs around just like that, and then bring it all the way over to here. We'll place a stair like that. Then where these blocks are showing, just put some trapdoors below it, and then it looks good. Then obviously fill in this gap with slabs, and there you go. Same thing over here with our upside down stairs. Fill in with slabs, and over here as well. Trapdoors. And there we go, that's our ceiling. Now just so we can add a ladder in here later, we're actually going to knock out these 2 oak logs there and just replace that block with a slab. And this is where our ladder is going to be. And you can actually replace this end block with a bark block as well, so that you can't see the log. So now we're going to start work on this main room by first adding in a fireplace. And this fireplace is going to be made out of deep slate, so just get yourself some deep slate bricks, some cobbled deep slate, and some polished deep slate. So first we're going to come in and place our campfire just on the ground there. And this is going to be 1 block over from this window if you need a reference point. Then we're going to place 4 blocks either side just like that. 2 upside down stairs in the middle, 2 stairs facing towards that top stair like that, and then just 1 more block on top, and you can actually knock out that stair and place a block as well. Then obviously just come in and place some other blocks, you know, some polished deep slate, some cobbled deep slate, just to mix it up a bit. You can also add some stairs in, just like that. There we go, that's pretty good. Then just grab some iron bars and place 3 along the front, like that. And if you want, you can also place a campfire on the right here and just put the fire out with a shovel, just to make it look like we got some spare logs. So now we're just gonna add a little seating area. So we're just gonna start by placing a dark oak slab in front of the fireplace to make it look like a coffee table. Then with some prismarine brick stairs, we're gonna place 1 just like that, and we can put some warped sign on either side of it, just to make it look like a little blue chair there. Then we're gonna place 3 more stairs just like this to create a couch, and we can also put obviously another warped sign on the sides. So now just get yourself some bookshelves. I'm gonna scatter them around the room just like this. Just place them wherever you want. Pretty random, there we go. We'll place them there. Also place a couple here. Just knock out that trapdoor if you need to, it's not a big deal. And then if you just get some barrels, you can come in here and just place them randomly around. Just like that, and there we go. Now if you want, you can come over here and actually place a trapdoor back on that side of the bookshelf. Up to you really. Right, so now to decorate this corner of the room, we're actually gonna get a cauldron, just place that in the corner. We can actually put some lava in that to sort of, you know, a bit of natural lighting, looks quite cool. Then we're gonna place a cartography table over in front of this window and then just finish it off with some upside down dark oak stairs just around to add a little bench. And at the top here, we're gonna get some spruce trapdoors and just place them on the top half of this block all the way around like that, and we can actually place some chains on the corner to make it look like it's hanging down. Then just add some brewing stands, just like that. We can even add an item frame over here just to make it look like a plate or something. Then we can place a tripwire on the wall just to make it look like some sort of tap. And then we'll obviously just finish it off with a bunch of flower pots around with some random flowers there. And because it's like a wizard tower, we can even add like some player heads or something just to make it look, you know, a little ominous. Add maybe a skeleton skull. Just like that, and then even a dragon's head. If you've been the Ender Dragon, then you can do that. There you go. Looking good. Alright, then to finish it off, we're actually going to add a ladder in here, and I'm using the Rope Ladders data pack, which allows you to place a ladder like this just by holding shift. I should have a link to that down in the description if you want to download it. It's really, really easy to add to your world, and it adds so much. Alright, so we can actually finish off this room just by adding in some carpet, and I'm actually going to use magenta wool because I think that just sort of suits the vibe really well in here. But you can use whatever color you want. I'm just going to scatter it around a bit like that. It doesn't have to be that perfect. So now that we've done this room, we're actually going to come downstairs and fill in what is sort of the basement, I suppose. Right, so the first thing I'm going to add down here is actually a nether wart farm because I think that'll look really cool and sort of makes sense with it being a wizard tower. So I'm just going to place some soul sand in that section like there, and then just put a trapdoor on the front of it to sort of, you know, make it look like it's actually being held there. Then obviously just get a nether wart, and we're going to place that all along there. And if you're doing this survival, it's an actual functional farm, so that's pretty cool. So for the rest of this room, we're basically just going to scatter around a whole bunch of storage and a bunch of bookshelves and stuff, because that's the best way to sort of fill in the space. So we're just going to start over by the stairs and place in a few barrels just like this, and then maybe a chest on top. Then we're just going to scatter some bookshelves around like this, and then obviously chuck a few barrels. There we go. And also feel free to place some armor stands down. I don't know what it really represents, but it looks kind of cool. So then just fill it in all the way around, randomly scattering in some barrels and bookshelves and things all the way around the corner. And there we go. You can place an armor stand up here as well, why not? Then just grab yourself some carpets again. I'm going to use red this time. Scatter around just like we did upstairs, and this will basically complete the room. And then also I'll remove these torches here, and we're just going to use some lanterns. Oh, I knew I'd do that. And I'm just going to place a lantern here and one here. I should do that so that's in line. There we go. And maybe one over here as well, just to light up the whole room. So now if we come back upstairs, we can actually place some lanterns up here as well, which I forgot to do earlier. So we'll just place one above the staircase there, one over here at the cross section. Then we can also place one just there in front of the ladder. Right, so the last thing to do is just come up here and finish off this upstairs section. So we're going to start by just continuing this ladder all the way up to here so that we can get to this top bit as well. Now I'm actually going to place an enchantment table in this room, so we're going to have to put the table just on the left here against the wall, and then we're going to scatter our bookshelves around just like this, and I believe we should be able to get level 30 from that. Yes. How many do we need? Okay, we need all of those, so we can then also place a couple extra around just to, you know, give it a cool look. And then for the ceiling, we're just going to get some spruce stairs and just wrap it around the corner all the way around just like this, and then just fill in the middle section with some slabs. Then if you want some lighting, you can just replace this middle block with a log and then place a lantern on that. We can actually use the soul lantern just to give it a cool little blue tint to this room. And there we go, that's this room done. So we can come up here and we're almost finished. So now up here we can place some oak wood just along here like that, and then also in these sections here. And we can even just add some stairs going up like that maybe. There we go. Now I'm just going to place 3 diorite slabs along the top here just to, you know, cover up that section. And then here I'm just going to place a full block with a lantern on it just to light up this little bit, and we can look out. Looks really cool. Here I'm just going to put some barrels and a bookshelf maybe. And then we'll chuck 2 armor stands on top of those. And you can even come in here and add some armor onto these if you want to. That might look really cool. I'm going to add a trapdoor here just above the ladder so that we can get up and down and then still close it. And then finally we're just going to add our ladder going up on this wall here all the way to the top, and then we'll place a trapdoor just like that so we can get up. Then just fill in this roof here and place, well, actually we'll place a block there and then put a lantern on top to light it up, and there you go. So there we go guys, that is actually the interior completely done and dusted. So we are finished with the build. So there we go guys, we have finally completed the entire build. That took forever. If you're still watching, then that is very impressive. Make sure you hit a like on the video and also subscribe. But anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.